The Steve Malzberg Show is just a bit different from the other radio shows. We have TV cameras. Watch the show at Newsmax.com or listen on your favorite radio station. Here's Steve Malzberg.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that I have been very outspoken about, one thing, huh? No, seriously, though, over the many, many years and has been the war on Christianity, the war specifically on Catholics. And as a Jew, I find it abhorrent, and I think it's important for people of the faiths under attack to come out and speak. But I think it's incumbent upon all faiths to speak out when something like this happens. And it goes on in so many ways in the media. And now we have another movie. And our good friend Brent Bozell, the founder and president of the Media Research Center, joins us. And he's written a great column on another Catholic-bashing movie. Hello, Brent.
How you doing, Steve? How are you?
Good, good. It was a pleasure to speak to your son last week.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
Did you enjoy it?
A chip off the old block in a positive way. Yes, absolutely. I enjoyed it very much. Okay, so let's talk about this movie, which is another Harvey Weinstein film, Philomena.
Yeah. Before saying anything, to me, it's a rather touching tribute that, and I say this as a Catholic, that almost any time there is a anti-Catholic, an assault on Catholics, and evidence of anti-Catholic bigotry, it always seems that at the front line defending Catholics are Jews. If it isn't you, it's Michael Medved. If it's not Michael Medved, it's Don Feder. It's an extraordinary thing that so many people try to sow contention between the two camps, but it is always Jews coming to the defense of Catholics. And
that's nice of you to say. I wish more Catholics would come to the defense of Catholics. and I've told that to Bill Donahue too, and he does too, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie Philomena. Harvey Weinstein is one of these Hollywood types who has a visceral hatred of Catholics and looks for every opportunity to do with Catholics what would never in a million years be ever suggested be done with Muslims, whether it's a movie like Dogma or The Magdalene Sisters or Priest. The theme is one of hateful anti-Catholicism, as if there's some kind of market out there that's demanding it. And that's the one thing that really troubles me. There is no market demanding it. But this movie, Philomena, is his most recent. And what's interesting is that a movie critic was savaged for having the temerity to suggest this was an anti-Catholic movie, and has been absolutely savaged by Hollywood and by Harvey Weinstein for suggesting this, when in fact it is.
That was Kyle Smith of the New York Post, correct?
Yeah. Who said unequivocally that this would, he said, I could see no reason for the movie's existence other than to soar overhead in the guise of the sweet bird of comedy, then drop a surprise load of guano on Catholic institutions. Isn't that something?
That is amazing, yeah. That is amazing.
But he proves it because it's one of these movies where it is, quote unquote, based on true events.
Right, and they don't tell you what part is or isn't, yeah.
Exactly. It could be 5%, he had 10 toes, and therefore it's based on true events.
Right.
But you don't know what it is. And this is a classic story. It is about a nun, or about a woman, young lady in Ireland in the 1950s who became pregnant, was taken in by nuns at a convent. And what proceeded to happen to her, according to the movie, was that she was basically put to work in slave labor, working in the laundry. She had her child, and then, as Catholic nuns do, they took the child from her at age 3 and gave it to an American family for adoption. Her daughter, later in life, teamed up with a left-wing journalist to find that son in America, and found that he was a gay speechwriter for Ronald Reagan, who died later of AIDS. So as we point out in the column, this was the quintessential twofer, a movie that not only trashes the Catholic Church but trashes the hypocrisy of the Republicans, especially under Ronald Reagan. But if you go back and you just think about it for a second, a whole different story appears. Number one, this is a young woman who becomes pregnant. Who takes her in? Catholic nuns. Number two, how do Catholic nuns pay for this? They have to work. All of them have to work for alms to keep the doors open. Therefore, she works like everyone else works. Number three, the child is taken from her at age 3. Catholic nuns don't go around taking children at age 3. Obviously, something happened. Obviously, she was too young and had to give the child up.
Right.
Or obviously, she did something wrong. But the child just isn't taken from her. The child is adopted by loving parents. Number four, this son who was a gay speechwriter for Ronald Reagan, big deal that he was. In fact, he died in 1995. Do you know where he's buried?
Where?
At the monastery with the nuns.
There you go. I'll tell you. Listen,
story.
Brent, we're up against the clock, unfortunately. This is a great column that you wrote. Everyone should check it out. It's right now. It's posted at newsbusters.org. Listen, I just wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I look forward. I thank you for all you've done for the public and for our show in particular, and we'll speak to you soon, sir.
Thank you. Likewise, Happy Hanukkah.
You too. Thank you. That's Brent Bozell. We're coming back, folks. Steve Malzberg on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV. Well, you knew that already, Steve Malzberg Show. Newsmax TV and radio.